Last night, old friends were welcomed back to Busch Stadium. And oh, by the way, the Cardinals played perhaps their best game of the season. Matt Morris supplied the pitching and picked up his 7th win against no losses. The offense chipped in with 7 runs, aided by aggressive base running from 38-year-old Larry Walker. The defense was solid as well, and it all added up to a Cardinal victory. Tonight, Jeff Suppan will try to keep it going against the Red Sox. We welcome you to Busch Stadium. It is game number 2 of this 3-game set. The Red Sox before the Yankees are in town over the weekend. Old home week continues. Last night they honored him with a standing ovation, and tonight the Cardinal organization honors him with his National League Championship ring from a year ago. And now welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck along with Al Raboski. A nice moment for Edgar Renteria, not only moments ago, but last night when he got the ovation. And then for Cardinal fans, from about that moment on, they got to see a heck of a game by the Cardinals, dominated by St. Louis.
I think we liked it too. It was just an outstanding ball game, maybe the best we've seen the Cardinals play all year. Every facet of the game, these guys were outstanding, especially up the middle.
Talked to Tony La Russa before the game, as you did, and he agreed. It's one thing for us to think it, but he sensed that down in the dugout, guys kicked it up a notch, and you knew that with the Red Sox coming in after last October. Last night meant a little more, and then to go out, Al, and play the kind of game that they played, I think really put a smile on Tony's face.
Yeah, a lot of times you have the dream, you think you're going to do it, but they did it, and it was just a great game. Think about this: when you get 2, 3, and 4 in your lineup, the heart of your order are hitless, and yet you still score 7 runs. That means the bottom guys were doing something exceptional, but the base running was extraordinary, the defense was phenomenal, and Matt Morris was just flat out great.
Up the middle, the Cardinal defense fantastic last night. The combination of Grudzielanek and Eckstein. We'll talk about that combination when we come back, both with the bats in their hands and with the gloves on their hands as well. More to come before the Cards and Red Sox after this. And talk about the middle infielders, Al. I think we all take for granted that guys that have been in the big leagues for a long time can just handle a new team and a new double play partner, and that's not the case. And these guys, Grudzielanek and Eckstein, should get better and better as the year goes on.
Personalities are different, but it started in spring training where they really got together. They worked hard, and just a half hour ago, I'm standing behind the cage with Ed Cheney's talking about the game last night, and he just raved about Grudzielanek's play defensively, and he said something. He goes, I don't care what anybody says about Eckstein, he's a spark plug, and he picks up everybody else.
Fun to have a little guy like that, and he gets it going for the Cardinals. He had 3 hits last night with Edgar Renteria in the park playing for the Red Sox. Tonight, it's the former Boston right-hander Jeff Suppan pitching for the Cardinals against the former Chicago Cub Matt Clement, who's off to a 6-0 start with his new team. We'll talk about the pitching matchup when we come back right after this. We welcome you back to Busch Stadium, and this is a matchup of 2 right-handers going tonight. Cardinals and the Red Sox, and for the Boston Red Sox, it's the right-hander Matt Clement. For the Cardinals, it's Jeff Suppan. It's our 4 dealers key matchup. If not for Clement, where would the Red Sox be with a 6-0 record, as they haven't had Schilling, they don't have Pedro anymore, they don't have Derek Lowe, and Suppan trying to get to the 500 mark with his record. Baseball coming up the other side of this break on FSN Midwest. Los Angeles, California, watching on satellite. You're here in the Midwest. You're up in the Northeast. People can't get enough of Cardinals Red Sox, and off we go. Johnny Damon first up. He sat out last night. Little problem with his right rotator cuff after a tremendous catch he made against the Angels on Saturday in left center field at Fenway Park. He takes a strike, and off we go. Jeff Suppan 4 and 5, taking on his former team. Right back through the box. Suppan got the glove down too late, and Damon is on, adding to his .348 average.
And that success against Suppan also.
And a lot of the success that a lot of these Red Sox hitters have had is a concern for Tony La Russa coming in. Give you the starting lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Damon, now Renteria, David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez, Trot Nixon in right, Varitek the catcher, Bill Miller, Mark Bellhorn, and then the pitcher is Matt Clement. I think there's one line, one quote that fuels the anger and the booing toward Edgar Renteria. And I don't even think it's Damon takes off, hit and run, and still out. A double play, and Renteria can't get out of his own way. He is snake bitten as he hits it hard right at Eckstein. Hit and run, and the Cardinals still turn a 6-4-3 double play.
Grizzlonic does a nice job to hang in there as Johnny Damon, good speed, running on the pitch, gets down on top of him, but he stays there. He's a tough competitor. He knew he had to hold his ground, and just one of those clean, hard plays that Grizzlonic appreciates, but said, let me have a shot at their guy. And Edgar, I saw him after the game, and boy, he's still Edgar. He's one of our favorites.
First pitch is a strike. Just to get back to what I was starting to talk about, I think the one line that was picked up in the papers here that sits wrong with every Cardinal fan was Edgar saying that the Boston Red Sox fans are the best fans in the game. And you know why he said it. He's playing up to his new home crowd, period. You don't know if he really believes that or not. Obviously, he was saying that at a time when fans were all over him up in Boston, so I find that hard to believe that he was saying that and meaning it. They are very good fans up in Boston, but the people here are saying, hey, don't forget about us. Larry Walker in right. Maybe it's another night like last night. A leadoff hit, a double play, a line drive out, and off we go into the bottom of the first. Suppan didn't even break a sweat. No score. Starting lineup for the Cardinals brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Tony La Russa would be a crazy man. Nuts, loco, insane, not right. If he changed his lineup after last night, you kidding me? He is anything close to being one of the most superstitious guys that you're going to run across anywhere. You saw the lineup, same group, same order, including Nunez batting the 7th spot. And here is the guy that's trying to slow down the Cardinal lineup in the other half of the pitching matchup. This part brought to you by Rico.
Very good pitching record, 6-0, but look at that 3.17 ERA in the American League. So Matt Clement trying to join Matt Morris at a 7-game winner to start the season.
Again, 0 losses. Look at the defense. We go around the horn. Brought to you by Auto Tire. Ramirez in left. Damon is in center tonight. Nixon in right. Miller, Renteria, Bellhorn, and Ortiz around the infield. Varitek doing the catching for Matt Clement. And how good, Mr. Rabowski, was Matt Morris last night?
He was outstanding, as he really just went out there and commanded the strike zone. Threw strikes, finished off pitches, all pitches working for him. The curveball was exceptional. Velocity, the highest it's been all season, and then also had that cutter to come in on the lefties.
Eckstein leads it off, took a ball outside, and now another. And if you're Matt Morris, you know the feeling. Certainly I don't, but he is like king for a day down there. He did everything he could do last night, pitched a brilliant game, went all 9. The Cardinals beat the Red Sox, and now he can just sit back, have a front row seat, watch the Cardinals and Red Sox, and he doesn't have a care in the world right now.
And Joe, I think he learned something, because the start in Colorado, he got roughed up, but his teammates came from behind while he was still the pitcher of record and got him a victory. And I think he was a little embarrassed by it. So as he said last night, he was prepared for that start last night, and it sure showed.
2-2 now on Eckstein. Was 2-0, now 2-2. David hitting .313. He's driven in 18. Knocked home a couple with a 2-out triple last night. Eckstein has watched 5 go by, and it's a full count.
Don't help out Clement. He can get wild. He can throw the ball all over the place.
On 3-2, Eckstein starts it with a hit.
Game hitting streak for David. He works that count, makes sure he throws him a strike, and then tries to hit it right up the middle or gap to gap. Doesn't try and do too much. Just sound very fundamental. And David Eckstein You know, he's got a little extra incentive too, because these Red Sox released him at one time. Originally signed with them, released him. The scout that signed him was so frustrated that Dan Duquette did that. He resigned and told the Angels to sign him.
Dan Duquette, who is now literally doing dinner theater in the Northeast. He's an actor now. You look at me like I'm kidding.
No, I was
promise
going to
you.
say some people thought maybe he was a pretender.
He still lives up in the area around Boston. And last report, he was doing dinner theater. That's off the hands and on the infield for Renteria, 1-on, 1-out. So Grzelcyk is jammed, and now Albert Pujols, who was held hitless last night, will walk in.
Cardinals today drafted Albert's cousin.
They
like those genes.
Why
right?
not? And they got him in the later rounds, which is where they got Albert. I think they got Albert in the 13th round.
13th round. As the free agent draft was first day was held today.
They are, in a word, ecstatic about their draft. And,
yes.
And they said, you know, if we're wrong about these guys, we're wrong about the guys. But of the ones that we wanted, for the most part, they were there, and we got the kind of mix we wanted in our draft between collegiate players and high school players. And they are excited about what they were able to pick up on the first day of the draft.
Very happy with the first two. I also like the hitting prospects of Albert's cousin, but a more reasonable approach is we'll wait and make a judgment in 3 years.
1-on, 1-out, the 1-0 pitch. Albert takes, signed tight, 2-0. You're right, Al, about the control issue for Clement. If there was anything that slowed him down, not only last year and in his time with the Cubs, but it's been control for Clement. And here's a guy who's really in his pitching prime. He's in his late 20s, and he's now with his fourth organization. His stuff is too good to have bounced around like that. 1-on, 1-out, a 2-0 pitch. 3-0.
You know, he's very frustrating to a manager and a pitching coach because, as you said, exceptional stuff, but he has trouble commanding it. And talking with Hal McRae, the Cardinal hitting instructor, he said it's also very frustrating for a hitter because it's up, it's down, it's in, it's out, it's all over the place, and you can't really judge what he's trying to do to you.
Albert swinging on 3-0. What a play by Miller. Throws to second for one, on to first safe. That was sparkling by Bill Miller, who took a double away from Pujols and maybe a run away from the Cardinals. And got the lead runner.
Billy Miller's back at DeSmet High School making plays, and he's a guy that growing up here in St. Louis, that he comes to play every single day. And that's a Roland-esque type play, but it's also one that he is very capable of making on a daily basis.
Now Miller goes way off the line at third as Jim Edmonds steps in. Edmonds hitting .275, 10 homers, 34 RBIs, and Jim really has yet to find one of those real long streaks where he is as dangerous a hitter as you'll find in any lineup. Still struggling and searching for consistency. Now it's Albert at first, 2 down, and strike 1 from Clement.
Jim has struggled against Clement, but this season, for whatever reason, just 1 hit and 13 at bats so far in interleague play.
There are the numbers against the right-hander Clement. One on, 2 out, and a ball outside. Rolling on the right. He's hitting now, and a week to 10 days away from making it hard on the Cardinals and a decision as to what they're going to do with him baseball-wise. Is it going to be a rehab assignment or just get back in the lineup? And then Bill Miller on your left, who's a very good hitter and has been a good player for the Red Sox since he joined them a couple of years ago. A batting champion in the American League 2 years ago. The Red Sox had an option on his contract for this year, and he will cash in if he has another year this year as he did last.
I like what Scott Rowland, when asked if he's going to be home for a couple weeks, he said, let's keep it to days.
Edmonds didn't like the call. 2-2.
Scott will be back when he can, but he also knows that you don't come back too soon. And the Cardinals, with their lead and with the play of Nunez and Mabry and Seabolt of late, there's no need to push him back and force him back before he's healthy.
Edmonds waits for a 2-2 pitch. Pitch number 17 in the inning coming here from Clement. Albert is running, and Edmonds pops it into left center field. Well hit. Ramirez back at the wall. It's gone. 2-run home run. 2-0 St. Louis.
Makes Jim Edmonds exceptional is that from that wide stance, the power that he has to the opposite field, and that ball just kept on carrying and drift out.
I think it surprised Ramirez.
Yes.
You could see the look on the face of Edmonds, wondering. Most of the time these guys know if it's gone, or if it's going to hit the wall, or if it's going to be well short, and he was hoping that that ball had enough on it, and it got out really with, I don't know, 10, 15 feet to spare. Maybe more.
Only the 4th home run that Clement has allowed this year.
The old opposite field poke by Edmonds, and the Cardinals strike first tonight. Sanders fouls it back toward us. Off the front of our booth and down into the seats. 1-1 on Reggie, who was hitting .265 and last night had 2 hits, 2 steals, and 2 runs scored.
Still can't. I mean, I just really thought last night's game by the Cardinals was just their best of the year.
2-1 on Sanders. Well, there's no doubt that after the 4-game sweep in the World Series, when the schedule came out and they knew that the Red Sox were going to be here beginning of this great week of interleague play, this was circled, not physically, at least mentally, by these players and by Tony La Russa and everybody else involved, that they wanted to show Boston a little more than they did last October.
Joe, just like we talked about last night, their Cardinal record in their start is phenomenal, but the team had not really played as well as their record indicated.
Full count now. They put it all together last night. And tonight behind Suppan, who has struggled against a lot of these Red Sox hitters in his career. Try to make it 2 in a row before tomorrow night, a matchup of David Wells taking on Carpenter. Here's a 3-2. Sanders hit that pretty well into center field. Damon back near the track to end the inning. We've played 1. 2 runs for the Cardinals on 2 hits. The big one by that guy. Edmonds into left center field. With that, 2-0 St. Louis after 1. Jeff Suppan is the Cardinals half of the Advanced Auto Parts pitching matchup. The right-handers 4 and 5.
Jeff kind of up and down a little bit, but he's the kind of guy that I think is perfect for the Cardinals. He usually gives you 6 innings. He'll throw strikes. He'll keep you in the ball game, and even if you get behind a little bit, it doesn't bother you.
That misses down and away to Manny Ramirez. Manny Ramirez hitting .256, 11 home runs, 43 RBIs. Suppan hits the outside corner at the knees, and the count evens. Red Sox come into this game 4 games out behind Baltimore, and the Orioles are doing it again at Pittsburgh. They lead 5-0 in the 6th inning. They just won't stop. And even though he was in his first year last year, Lee Mazzilli was evidently on thin ice and trying to keep his job after a disappointing 2004. And the Baltimore Orioles are maybe the biggest surprise in baseball when you consider what they've done. And then the other surprise might be the way the Yankees have played to this point. That's wide, and the count 2-2. So you know the Cardinals' first-round pick today is an outfielder, high schooler, Phoenix City, Alabama, named Colby Rasmus. Will he be a name that we all know and love someday soon? Fouled back. And when I say soon for a high schooler, maybe 6 years. There's Jerry Walker, Walt Jocketty. Tyler Green was the second first-round pick. Cardinals had 4 in the first round. Mark McCormick, a right-handed pitcher, and Tyler Herron, a righty from Wellington, Florida. Here is another 2-2 pitch. Ramirez grounds to Eckstein. Gets a true hop and flings it over for out number 1. Take a look at the defense. We go around the horn, brought to you by Auto Tire, and out in the outfield, Sanders, Edmonds, Walker, Nunez, Eckstein, and Grudzielanek. With Pujols over at first, did a lot of stretching last night. Molina behind the plate. I think that throw, Al, that Grudzielanek, or rather Eckstein, just made is the throw that if you don't see him every day, you see him make that throw, you think, well, he can't make the throw from the hole at short. He doesn't have enough arm to really gun somebody down at first base. But he has different type throws for different situations. It's almost like he holds something back in reserve for when he needs it later in the game.
Great way of putting it. And they've also put him on some rotator cuff exercises to strengthen that shoulder area.
This one he gets to go out and stand underneath. 2 out. Jack in the box standings. 6.5 now as the Cubs lost last night to Toronto. They play another night game at Wrigley tonight. Brewers are all of a sudden 10 out. They beat the Yankees, and the Yankees are 7 out. And scoreless after 1 in Milwaukee tonight. The 2 out, nobody on. Here is Varitek. And there is ball 1 high. Remember a couple of years ago, the Cardinals were interested in Suppan at the trading deadline. They couldn't put a deal together. Couldn't get it done with Pittsburgh. Suppan ended up going back to Boston and was not a factor in the playoff race and wasn't even available in the postseason, not even on the roster for the Red Sox two postseasons ago. That's foul. Then he ends up signing with the Cardinals, and what a year he had last year. And for the most part, even though he's 4-5, he's picked up where he left off in 2004.
Well, the one thing is he has gotten the least amount of run support of the Cardinal starters, and that's the difference in having a winning record and not. 1 game under 500.
On 1-2, Varitek gets out of the way. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Varitek, another hitter that's given Suppan trouble. See where Jeff, everybody else is nearly 6 or above, and Jeff is under 5. So he'd have a couple more wins with a little more run support. And there's always somebody that's going to end up on the short side.
Suppan is the guy at the moment. Those numbers can change. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Skips in there, and Molina turns himself into a wall. Like one of the Wonder Twins. Form of a wall. And Molina makes the stop. There are the other guys. Who's missing?
Tomorrow's starter Carpenter.
Very good. You know, Lucas, glad you said it. That's well hit into right center field. Will it carry out? Up and out. Varitek gets number 11. It's 2-1 in the second. And the Red Sox fans have a chance to cheer.
It's also the 11th home run that Suppan has surrendered. Down and in. It's not where you want to teach a guy to throw to a guy that has the power to hit it out of the ballpark. If you're going to throw that cutter there, you want to elevate it, get it above the hands.
Guy in a Titanic t-shirt makes the catch on that home run in right center field. Don't you die on me, Rose. I'm king of the world. Eckstein diving stop, but oh, he got the out at first. What a play by Eckstein. And he holds his head high, sprinting back into the dugout. The great defense continues from last night. Good pickup by Pujols on the other end. 2-1 into the bottom of the second. Larry Walker first up. Abraham Nunez and Yadier Molina will follow. Suppan due up fourth in the inning. 2-1 Cardinals. Walker hitting .248, 5 homers, 22 RBIs last night in his first at bat. Got a base hit to right off the knuckleballer Tim Wakefield. Cardinals started playing first and third with the Red Sox and came up with 3 runs in the second, led 3-1, and finally won it 7-1 on a great night of baseball. Walker hits it out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
How about Larry Walker is batting .352 all time in interleague play? A little bit more against Clement.
The 1-1. Strike 2. Matt Clement, ERA 3.17. He struck out 58. He's had a great start to his Red Sox career, and Walker hits it hard to center. Damon back. 1 out. Let's go back to that play by Eckstein to his left. It was so close at first base. First of all, great pickup. And then the out call at first by Field and Colbert.
You know, one thing. You see it play one more time. A great dive, scrambles to his feet and throw with something on it. But these Red Sox are going to walk away talking about the pickup in the hands of Pujols.
Abraham Nunez flies to right. Nixon puts it away. 2 out. And that was an example, really, of the play by Eckstein of what we talked about earlier in the inning on the ground out by Ramirez. He has a different type throw depending on the situation. And when Eckstein came up with that ball with Miller running, and he doesn't run like he used to, he thought, well, great play, great stop, but he's not going to get it to first in time. And I guarantee you there are a handful of major league shortstops, people want to talk about Eckstein's arm, that could not sling it over to first base in time to get the out there.
And there's a handful of guys that never would have gotten through the ball.
No doubt about that. Molina last night had a big night with a bat. 2 out of 3. He's up to .257 with his average, and he has really picked it up and jumped up to where he has to be awfully proud with the way he has rebounded within this season.
He's hit an 8 of his last 9 games at home at .457.
3-0 here.
And Joe just as impressive with 10 RBIs.
Veritek is out. Might have spotted something in the delivery of Clement, who's fallen behind some hitters. Hasn't walked anybody, but he's behind Molina. 3-0.
Cardinal hitters might have a little more of a read or a book on Clement, and you see him not jumping out there swinging a lot of first pitches. Let him get behind.
There's a strike. 3-1.
Had the count. Look, 166 behind. The average 339.
He's behind in the count here, and now he issues a 2-out walk. And that's a no-no. Who was it? Koufax or Drysdale or Gibson who talked about the importance of pitching to the number 8 hitter, especially in that situation, because you get a freebie out the next inning.
A lot of guys like that felt like that was the guy they bared down on as much as anybody. The 8th place hitter, to guarantee that they had the out of the pitcher coming up next, especially with 2 outs.
So here is Jeff. He's 3 out of 19, so he's got a shot, picking up a hit. He takes the ball high. Talk about no run support. How about Matt Clement? Here comes Dave Wallace, a pitching coach. Clement last year with the Cubs made 30 starts through 181 innings. Had a 3.68 ERA, but only won 9 games. That's a very good ERA to only come up with 9 wins, and he was 4 games under 500.
Yeah, and then you think about in the American League, where it's even tougher to pitch with the DH, to have a 3.17 ERA. Doesn't get much better, but he is undefeated this year. I think one of the things Varitek may have said, hey, you know how many problems we have with our bullpen. You better, if you want a chance to win this game, you better go deep into it and quit throwing pitches.
Suppan into left field, drops in front of Ramirez. It's 2 on, 2 out. A walk, a hit, and now Eckstein with a chance to add to the Cardinal 2-1 lead. Let's go back to the first at bat by David.
So he's going to pitch, you know, see as many pitches as possible. He's also the toughest in the major leagues to strike out, so he gives himself a good opportunity to get that pitch count in his favor, have a strike in an area where he's looking for it, and then just doesn't try to do too much with it. Just try to hit it up the middle.
2 on, 2 out for David, who's driven in 18. Last night had 3 hits. Tonight 1 for 1. Takes a strike from Matt Clement. Molina the lead runner at second. Suppan on at first. Not very good speed on the bases. It's 0-2 now. Take a look at these numbers. Pitches seen. David Eckstein has the lead, but not by a whole lot over Albert Pujols.
And perception is that it would be almost twice as much.
You would think. Tells you Pujols is a very patient power hitter. Here comes an 0-2 pitch. 2 on, 2 out. Eckstein another hit. Molina's coming to the plate. Ramirez has a great chance to throw him out. Safe, and the Cardinals lead 3-1.
Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire, stuck with the slide. Unlike last night when Molina made a nice athletic slide to get around Varitek, this time the home plate umpire stayed with it. Even though the throw was there, the tag was late in applying. Ramirez kind of is a laid-back kind of guy, but he throws a strike in here, and it with something on it. Good, but you see the leg crosses the plate ahead of the tag.
The bat, David Eckstein's bat, was right in the middle of it. You see the tag up on the hip of Yadier Molina after he got his feet in there.
Well, you're kind of hard to believe that Varitek doesn't see that bat sitting there and fling it before the throw.
2 on, 2 out, and a strike to Grudzielanek. You're right, Al. That was exactly the play that we saw last night for the most part. When Larry Young, the third base umpire tonight, was behind the plate, just because the throw beat Molina to the plate, he rung him up. Tonight, Eric Cooper stayed with a play and awarded Molina the run because of that good slide. Grudzielanek, a base hit into left center. Suppan will score. Eckstein to third. Cardinals lead it 4-1.
make him throw strikes. They look for the ball away early in the count, and that was nearly a line drive double play. But once it got over the head of Renteria into the gap in left center, Suppan scores another run, and the Cardinals are having some fun again.
Cardinals get their big guy up at the plate. Albert, who was robbed of a hit, a diving stop by Miller his first time up. That's down the right field line. It is a fair ball. In to score Eckstein. Grudzielanek coming around. They wave him home. Throw by Bellhorn. Too late. Into third, Albert. 2 more runs. 6-1.
Back to Grudzielanek's at bat. Albert Pujols slices into right field, and throw coming in, but a slide as he's up the first base line. Molina earlier, you see there how he averts the tag. Molina, here's the one last night we were talking about. Throw beat him a lot more time, but look at the athleticism of this slide, and the foot was well over the bag ahead of the tag.
Cardinals. How about the bunt attempt by Edmonds trying to push Pujols home? They're 2 out in the inning, but he had Miller playing rather deep at third.
Don Halama warming up in the bullpen, the lefty, and home run the first time up. Trying to take advantage of the depth of the third baseman and bunt this time.
He's pulled Miller in a couple of steps at third. He homered his first time up into left center. And that one almost got away from Clement. A 2-out walk to Molina. A hit by the pitcher Suppan that just fell in front of Ramirez and left. And a hit by Eckstein. A hit by Grudzielanek. 2-run double, by the way, for Pujols. Took third on the throw home. And now a 1-1 pitch to Edmonds. On the outside corner, strike 2.
Off speed pitch out there.
Edmonds had a good rip.
Pujols was almost halfway down the line as he made that contact. Just with a good jump. Third baseman off the line, secondary lead. But I think Jose Oquendo, the third base coach, is saying, Albert, get back here a little bit.
Two and two. Clement doesn't have it tonight. Halama's getting loose in the bullpen, and as you said, Al, a moment ago, this Boston bullpen has been worked over the past week. They are tired out there. And here's their starter, their 6-0 right-hander, Clement, who's having trouble getting through the second inning. Two. Full count with Sanders on deck.
He has 18 two-out RBIs, the most in the team. Will Edmonds give him a shot?
Now the 3-2. Edmonds taps it foul off the right ankle or foot of the home plate umpire, Eric Cooper. You go back, Al, in this inning, it was a 2-out walk to Molina. Suppan flared a hit into left, and you wonder if Ramirez playing a little too deep with a pitcher at the plate, not able to get to that ball. Then a 2-strike hit by Eckstein. Grudzielanek and Pujols went up there ready to hit. Went after the first pitch, a single and a double.
I think the Red Sox just know that that's the way Ramirez plays.
3-2 again. Edmonds strikes out. The Cardinals send 8 men to the plate in the second. Come up with 4. And one of the biggest hits of the inning was Jeff Suppan's to extend the frame. It was his 4th of the season, and a big one tonight. Cardinals lead by 5 after 2 in St. Louis. Last night it was the bottom of the order that did the damage against the Red Sox, and so far tonight the top of the order. Although you have to credit the hit by Suppan to extend the inning, get it back to the top, and the next time Grudzielanek and Pujols went to work. Way back in the first, Edmonds hit a 2-run shot at 6-1, third inning. And Suppan deals with Mark Bellhorn. Last night, Bellhorn was the leadoff man for Terry Francona. Tonight, hitting 8th, and he takes a strike. One ball, one strike.
30-year-old switch hitter in second season with the Red Sox.
That misses outside. 2 balls and a strike. After Bellhorn, it's the pitcher Clement. Back to the top of the order, Johnny Damon.
Mindset of a pitcher, just go out there thinking you got a 0-0 game or 1-0 game.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Toronto has a 2-0 lead after 2 at the Cubs. Bellhorn keeps it 2-2. It's cooled off a little bit down here tonight. Last night in the mid-80s. A lot of humidity when we started. As we told you last night, biggest crowd in this ballpark since '97, over 50,000 at the stadium, and I would imagine we're close to that again tonight as Bellhorn pops it up. Playable, third baseman Molina. Nunez, nice play, had a long run and he got there, 1 out. Cardinal fans purchase a bottle of Fab laundry detergent and a package of softener at participating Schnucks stores and enter to win the fabulous seat promotion. Mail in your receipt, fill out an entry form, and you could win 2 tickets to each of the last 3 games played at Busch, an autographed ball by a current player, and a Fab laundry detergent, fabric softener prize package. The first 300 mail-ins receive a $5 Schnucks gift card. It's a fabulous seat promotion. Don't miss out.
Our buddy Randy Weedle being fabulous with that one, wasn't he?
Oh yeah. First pitch of ball, now the next to Clement. Off his hands and fouled. 1 ball, 1 strike. They may be down by 5 runs, but this is an offense that can strike in a hurry, and they need Clement, whether he's got his good stuff tonight or not, to give him some innings.
Give him some innings. Let the offense take over.
So a 1-1. Good pitch from Suppan, a 92-mile-an-hour fastball, 1-2.
Joe talking about the good crowd last night. Another one here tonight. There are 300 terrace reserve seats remain for tomorrow and 200 upper terrace reserve seats.
Good breaking ball, and he makes Clement look like an American League pitcher. Swinging the bat. First strikeout for Suppan, 2 out in the inning. Best damn sports show period is the greatest nightly sports show on television with host Chris Rose and John Sally, Rob Dibble, Rodney Peete. Tonight, they'll be on right after the Midwest Sports Report, which will be conducted from right here at Busch Stadium. Brent Stover on hand again. 2 out. Here's Damon, who has one of the 2 Red Sox hits. Singled into center in the first, and then even though he was running, the Cardinals turned a double play on a ball hit to short by Renteria.
You know him a little bit, don't you?
Yeah.
He's really a good guy.
Great guy. Has fun every time he's at the ballpark, and he just plays like it. You can see it on him. It's 2-0. We talked to him the other day at Fenway Park. Tim and I were talking to him about a ball he hit to beat the Angels on Friday night. He said, your top hand came off the bat. He said, I always hit with one hand and one of my eyes closed. It's not pretty, but I get some hits.
I think he gets some hits.
Oh yeah. He's hitting .351. He has 79 hits. And he hits one into right field. Back at the wall is Walker. Will the park hold it? He wants to jump. He doesn't have to. And the inning is over. And the Red Red Sox are thinking, is it going to be one of those series? The Cardinals and their fans are thinking, it's payback time, boys. We go to the bottom of the third. It's 6-1. Cardinals on top. Six to 1. The Cardinals up 5 as we go to the bottom of the third. Reggie Sanders, who flies to center his first time up, leads off. Clement trying to pull it all together and get past what was a rough second inning. 4 runs on 4 hits. Delivers strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. They are jammed in here again, and they got here early again, and they've enjoyed themselves down at the ballpark on this Tuesday night. One ball, 2 strikes. The Cardinals are inching their way ever closer to the best record in all of baseball. The White Sox have the best at 38-19, and the Cardinals are a game behind them at 37-20. One and 2 on Sanders now. Still 1 and 2.
Reggie just comes to play every day. He just always has that great smile on his face. Compliment him. And you know, he thanks you.
Pleasant guy. Has been since day one, and that will make him more pleasant. Down the line, it is gone. A home run for Sanders, number 12. Cardinals lead 7-1 here in the third inning.
Splitter grip, changes it as he goes to make the delivery and wishes he had the splitter. He threw the fastball and didn't know if it'd stay fair.
Walker flares one left center field. Long run for Ramirez. He's there for out number 1.
Reggie now 12 home runs and 9 stolen bases. He wants to be a 30-30 man, and he's well on his way. Little body language to help it out.
Take a look down the line, and that's why Reggie was watching until the moment it went around the pole for the Cardinals' 7th run of the night. They won it last night 7-1. They lead here in the third inning 7-1. Strike 1 to Abraham Nunez. What were you saying about run support for Suppan?
Yeah, well,
Ramirez falls down and still gets up and makes the play. Even Manning will smile about that.
Remember the first game of the World Series, I guess the first couple games, as they tried to give the games to the Cardinals, but always fun when you make that recovery.
Maybe the pants had something to do with it.
Oh, yes. Maybe because I can't understand how guys like that look or makes it feel comfortable.
I can't believe it's not something that could seriously bother you if you're wearing spikes in the bottom of your shoes.
Right.
And your pants are that long. How you don't get your spikes caught in the bottom of your pants from time to time. 1 ball, 1 strike. I mean, I know it's in an effort to make a pair of baseball pants look fashionable, but they're
Really?
just not going to look fashionable. They're baseball pants. They're double knit polyester.
Where's Bob Watson when we need him? Just for the protection of Manning.
Ramirez can take 3 steps before those pants move. They're so big.
He must be listening to you. He's laughing. He's laughing at you, Joe.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 out, nobody on, and Molina spoils a good pitch. Reggie Sanders toweling off after a trot around the bases. He was sweating more to see if that thing would stay fair. Muggy night. 1-2 pitch. 2-2.
Had a little breeze through the ballpark. I think the Cardinals are feeling it more than the Red Sox.
Alama's getting loose again for Boston. But right now there's 2 out, nobody on. A leadoff home run by Sanders. Yankees are losing again, 2-0 in Milwaukee in the bottom of the 3rd. Molina sticks the bat out and fouls it into the seats.
Albert always watching, but a little more of a smile as this game in favor of the Cardinals. But as you said, you could never disrespect the game. This is an opponent that can jump up on you quickly.
No doubt about that. Molina pops it up. Should end the inning. Edgar Renteria squeezes it. The Cardinals add 1. They do so on the leadoff home run by Reggie Sanders. Just fair, 7-1 after 3. This Schnucks date in baseball history will give you chills. You remember the night, June 7th, 1972. Who can forget? The Pirates beat the Padres 12-5 in the first game of a doubleheader, but Pittsburgh went on to win the nightcap 1-0 in 18 innings. Keith Kachuk, the old Red Sox fan, and his sons here at the park tonight.
And he's got that Boston jersey on. You know, I thought that was kind of ridiculous that people didn't understand that. Okay, you know, his hometown of Boston, and he's entitled to cheer for them. He's a big Cardinal fan, but in the World Series, that was something very special to all in New England.
Renteria chops 1 to Nunez, and Edgar's troubles continue. He's 0 for 6 in this series. Absolutely. I mean, to think that the guy, and as you said, he's here in a lot of Cardinal games. How many times we've looked down there and had the camera on him all summer long. He's down there. He loves baseball. The guy that's from Boston, grew up a Red Sox fan. Just because he plays for the Blues, he's not supposed to root for his hometown team.
Brought in his mom and family because it was such a special occasion. Very close with all the, you know, a lot of the Cardinal players, and none of them begrudged him.
First pitch is a ball to David Ortiz. Look at the kids. They're split. They got the Red Sox shirts and the Cardinal hats. 292 hitter is David Ortiz, who's playing first, and it's kind of interesting because the Red Sox, big source of controversy in Boston has been the slow start for Kevin Millar, who was so good in the second half of the year last year for Terry Francona. Then the Red Sox went out and signed John Olerud, sent him to the minor leagues to tune up, came up, and he's done nothing but hit. The question has been for the Red Sox, who are you going to play at first, Millar or Olerud? But now they're in a National League city. Ortiz is usually the DH, so now Millar and Olerud are sitting on the bench, and Ortiz is getting his hacks while playing first.
John Olerud is 7 for 19 with 2 doubles and 3 RBIs in 7 games with the Red Sox.
Here's a 2-1 to Ortiz. A flare into left center field. Long run for Sanders. He's there. 2 out. And Suppan is rolling. Based only 1 over the minimum. And he will work to Manny Ramirez. Dave Duncan is intently watching Jeff Suppan.
Pretty animated for a guy that seems to be pitching well. Retired 6 in a row. Only allowed 2 hits, 1 a solo home run.
First pitch of ball to Manny Ramirez. It's almost ridiculous to try to read somebody's body language, where you wonder, A, if he was even upset at all with that last pitch. B, if it was pitch selection or whatever it was, the Cardinals got the out as they got Ortiz flying to left center, and now Ramirez takes a strike and the count evens. Suppan's throwing hard tonight.
What I like too is he's keeping a lot of balls down, trying to induce the ground balls.
On 1-1, Ramirez. 94 from Suppan. Blew it right by a very good fastball hitter. It's 1-2.
Hey, Joe, I like to let the batter tell you how good your fastball is. And on this pitch, it was pretty good. Just remember one thing. It may come in at 94. It goes out faster.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 out, nobody on in the inning. And Ramirez, Suppan started to walk off. And he wasn't alone. Eckstein was walking. Nunez was walking. It's a 2-2 count.
You have the low target right there. And it was either a perfect pitch or just a little smidgen away.
Here is a 2-2. That's too far outside. Full count. On deck is Trot Nixon. Suppan will lead off for the Cards in the bottom of this 4th.
Got to pitch your ball game. You've got to mentally prepare yourself that it's a 1-run or close ball game. But when the score is 7-1, you can ill afford to walk anybody.
Been going away now inside, and Ramirez takes a 2-out walk. First walk issued by Suppan tonight, and Trot Nixon will walk to the plate. Don't forget, tomorrow night is a 6:10 start. That's different than what's printed on your calendar schedule. So the Cardinals, Chris Carpenter, 8-3, and a guy who was dying to pitch in the World Series last year but was unavailable, will take on David Wells.
And there are 500 tickets remaining, so don't be tricked into thinking it's a sellout.
Nixon takes low. Cardinals are off on Thursday, and then it's Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon against the Yankees. Marquis, Mulder, and Morris. Outfield extremely deep for Nixon with 2 out and a runner at first. And Suppan pulled the string. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's a 1. It's too far inside. Our microphone's so good down there you can hear Nixon readjust the batting gloves and undo the Velcro. You can hear his innermost thoughts.
Intensity of this game, and it's the first time all year that he's hitting under 300. 298.
And he's jammed, pops it up. Another good pitch from Suppan. Eckstein wants it. And David out to get it to end the inning. Red Sox strand their first of the night. Bottom of the 4th, 7-1 Cardinals. On with a big hit. His hit kept the inning alive and allowed the Cardinals to score 4 times, all 4 runs scoring with 2 out in the 2nd. After they got a 2-run homer by Edmonds in the 1st and later a solo blast by Sanders in the 3rd. It's 7-1, bottom of the 4th inning, and Clement has Suppan reaching for it. Strike 2. The Red Sox will leave St. Louis and go to Wrigley for the weekend. That'll be crazy on the north side of Chicago. Suppan is gone. Second strikeout for Clement, and the top of the order comes up, and the top of the order has done the damage tonight. Eckstein with a 2-out RBI hit to score Molina. Grudzielanek went after the first pitch to score Suppan. Pujols went after the first pitch and doubled down the right field line. Back in the first, a 2-run shot by Edmonds. And the Cardinals put all that together plus Reggie for a 7-1 lead. How surprised are you, Al, to look at the stats and see that the guy at the plate, Eckstein, is 8th best in the National League with his batting average of up just under 400 with runners in scoring position, and he has 21 multiple hit games, second on the club.
It's up to 320 now on the season with his 2 hits tonight. Toughest in the major leagues to strike out. 327 average with 2 strikes.
And this one's pretty well hit to left center field. Ramirez back will catch up to it. 2 out. Just hung up enough, and Manny Ramirez got there. Register to win your day at the ballpark in the Rogers and Hollins Jewelers Diamond Destination Contest at South County, West County, or St. Clair Square. While the Red Sox are trying to find some consistent starting pitching, they can look up at the out-of-town scoreboard and see their former ace Pedro Martinez pitching another gem for the Mets at home, beating Houston 3-1 in the 8th. He's been unbelievable.
Some people believe that, with few exceptions, it probably is good for people to be traded every so many years. Usual would be an exception. Brock and Gibson for the Cardinals, Williams and Yastrzemski for Red Sox.
Keep that guy.
Yeah, well, he fits in the category of the caliber of players I was talking about.
A swinging bunt. Veritek out from behind the plate. Takes care of Grudzielanek, and the Cardinals go in order for the first time tonight. 5th inning rolls in. Suppan back to the hill. He and the Cardinals protecting a 6-run lead. Do anything it takes to let them know how much we appreciate what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Veritek takes a strike from Jeff Suppan. Jason Holmert, his first time up. That's the only Boston run.
I got greens. I don't have the desert.
Veritek takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1035th will be with us tomorrow night.
I'm looking forward to that.
The 1-1 pitch, down and in. That's actually getting some national coverage that we're doing that. And hopefully we'll be able to somehow, some way communicate with them, whether it's actually speaking with them or through email or whatever, to get a feel for what's going on there. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Veritek. High and tight, 2-2. They're at a base either just right in or just outside of Decrete. On a 2-2 count, Suppan trying to get the lead man here in the 5th. That pitch was up, and Veritek was ready to hop on it. Fouled it straight back.
Probably was the same pitch as the home run he hit, but the difference, one was down and in, the other one was up. It was out over the plate, but it was up. Change up there.
Veritek, as we mentioned last night, was free agent at the end of the year, and it was surprising the Red Sox let it go that far, that the season ended, and then they started really negotiating in earnest. The team that was really looking at him, the Dodgers, looking for a solid everyday catcher really since Piazza was a young player. Still 2-2 on Veritek. His agent is Scott Boras. He's got season tickets right behind home plate at Dodger Stadium. Veritek is on with a leadoff hit. Let's go back to the home run pitch. Veritek took out of here back in the 2nd.
I think this is a cutter that doesn't, it's too low, and you want to run that a little bit above the hands. Now they try to go here, strike 2, to get it further in, and you saw the fluidity of the swing was messed up. But that's the one thing, if you're going to pitch guys in, you better get in.
Red Sox put their leadoff man on for the second time tonight. Miller takes a nice moving fastball for a strike.
And Jeff will tell you, on occasion, he just throws a batting practice fastball. Interesting. And talking to Red Sox hitting coach, that's exactly how he described it. He throws a batting practice fastball, but today we're seeing him change that pattern and throw as hard as we've ever seen him throw.
If any batting practice pitcher was throwing 93, they'd give him a multi-year deal.
But I remember his start about 4 or 5 starts ago, and he kind of confounded the opposition. Some of the other starters said, "What were you doing?" He said, "I just threw a batting practice fastball." They're not expecting it. In between your changeup and your maximum velocity. Just don't throw too many of them.
No balls, 2 strikes. Miller with 1 on, nobody out, taps it foul. Cardinals got 2 in the first, 4 in the second, 1 in the third, went in order in the fourth. And now Suppan trying to get around a leadoff hit by Veritek.
Really actually hitting .324 in his last 22 games.
To the shortstop, knocked down by Grudzielanek. Actually, he throws it away as Eckstein got it to him, and because of that netting in front of the Cardinal dugout, saves an error. They only got 1, and they probably were only going to get 1. Grudzielanek unleashed the throw, and it just took off. 1 on, 1 out. After Eckstein made the bobble, a chance for only 1.
But the most important thing is to make sure you get 1. And I think Grudzielanek was surprised that Veritek wasn't closer to him, because he had plenty of time to step off the bag, reset himself, and maybe make a more accurate throw. But more times than not, with that bobble, you're not going to go ahead and execute the double play. They were lucky they didn't throw it away for an error.
So Bellhorn now 1 on, 1 out. Bellhorn fouled out to the third baseman his first time up. Pitcher's spot is due up next, and John Olerud is standing in the on deck circle with a bat in his hand. Here's an 0-1. Bellhorn into left center field. That ball will not be caught. Edmonds trying to get to it as quickly as he can. Miller around third. They'll bring him to the plate. It's an RBI double, and it's a 7-2 Cardinal lead here in the 5th. Bellhorn knocks in his 15th of the year.
Sees the ball all the way and can see how Edmonds is tracking, and then he's off to the races. Just reads his third base coach how to play at the plate.
Now Dave Duncan is out to talk after the 2 hits in the inning. John Olerud is up. The Red Sox are hoping this is the frame where they climb back not only into this game but into this series. So they talk, and so do we. If you'd like to win Cardinal tickets and participate in the Southwest Airlines Family of the Game promotion during a Cardinal home game, here's your chance. Send your name, address, and phone number to Southwest Airlines Family of the Game, P.O. Box 771192, St. Louis, Missouri 63177. Here is the aforementioned John Olerud, who is off to a great start with the Red Sox after finishing the year last year with the Yankees.
36 years of age, enters his 17th major league season, batting .417 and only 12 at bats against right-handed pitchers.
First pitch is low for ball 1.
Mets, one of the Blue Jays, Mets, Mariners, and Yankees, 2-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glove winner, 93 American League batting champion with a .363 mark, and he helped the Blue Jays win a couple World Championships.
1-0. Good fastball from Suppan. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Can't look at John Olerud and not think about Ricky Henderson.
If you can go through that story in the time we have between pitches, good luck.
Something about the helmet. How about that?
1 ball, 1 strike. There's another fastball for strike 2.
I think Suppan is messing up these hitters by throwing so many fastballs and throwing it with authority.
Pitching probably against the scouting report that these Red Sox hitters got from the advanced scout. Bellhorn at second, 1 out, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a ground ball for Pujols. Olerud doesn't run well at all. The put out at first, 3-1. 2 out. Olerud had off-season foot surgery and is battling a bad hamstring, so the Cardinals had forever to get that play accomplished. Didn't have to rush it. Bellhorn at third, 2 down for Johnny Damon. Damon is 1 for 2. He singled to center, and then he took Walker back to the wall and right. The final out of the top of the third.
It's a pitcher. This is the batter you want to stop. Do not let that run score at third. Maintain that 5-run lead where the grand slam can't tie you.
Renteria is on deck as Damon takes a ball down and in. Damon has driven in 31 out of that leadoff spot. Eckstein, by comparison, they both hit leadoff every day, has driven in 19. Again, National League, American League. Eckstein's following a pitcher to the plate. Damon doesn't have to bother with that. That's low, and the count's 2-0.
Eckstein's out homering. 2-1 home runs.
Damon is hitting .350. Molina is going to go out and talk to Jeff Suppan.
Jeff and Johnny Damon were teammates in Kansas City.
Suppan wants a new ball. The Cardinals and Red Sox are wondering about the out-of-town scores. Chicago trails at home to Toronto 3-2 after 5. 5-2. Baltimore leads at Pittsburgh in the 8th. The Brewers still lead 2-0 over the Yankees in the 6th. That's inside. 3-0.
Split finger grip, but look at Johnny Damon with his foot up in the air. And of course you can't react until you put it back down. But fidgety.
3-1.
A lot of movement with the lower half of his body, but top half is at the ready.
Leadoff hit by Veritek. Miller reached on a force out and scored on a double by Bellhorn, who's at third with 2 out. Full count on Damon. Three-two pitch. Damon pops it up. Out behind short. Eckstein ends the inning. Suppan limits the damage. The Red Sox get only 1 halfway through it as we go to the bottom of the 5th. 7-2. The Cardinals lead it. Is the pitch to Johnny Damon, and now coming back from a 3-0 count with a guy at third, 2 out to get Damon on this little pop-up was a big out for Jeff Suppan.
It looked like he thought it was going to be more inside. He reaches for it, got underneath and popped it up. And once again, it's a hot pitch because you have to keep that 5-run deficit so a grand slam can't tie you. Alama comes into this game. His 21st appearance. He has made 1 start. ERA better than 5.5. 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. 2 home runs allowed.
The numbers for Clement, who came in 6-0 with an ERA of 3.17, 4 innings, 7 runs on 7 hits, a walk, 2 strikeouts, and 2 home runs allowed. And here is Albert Pujols. Albert took the first pitch and doubled down the right field line his last time up to cap a 4-run second inning. Now facing Halama, who he was studying last night. Remember, Halama came in late. Pujols, we showed you in the dugout, was watching Halama's every move. He didn't get a chance to hit against him last night, but here he is tonight facing the lefty. Took a ball. Takes another.
That's why you watch him and see if you can get some kind of a read, understanding what he tries to do. Signed a free agent deal with the Red Sox this past December. It's his 4th club in 4 years.
On 2-0, it's 3-0. Halama let a couple of unearned runs score last night after an error by Renteria. Turned a 5-1 game into a 7-1 game, and there's a strike. It's 3-1.
98 with the Astros, 99 with Mariners. Through 2002, and then Athletics and the Devil Rays. Now Boston.
3-1. Pujols off the end of the bat. Bellhorn to his left. Leadoff man is gone. Edmonds will step in, the cleanup man back in the first. Sounded like he hit it with balsa wood.
And
bamboo.
And you kind of saw where, you know, if you're an outfielder and you're watching the point of contact, you can understand why the outfielders were surprised that that ball got over their head and out of the ballpark.
Just had an odd sound to it, didn't it?
Yes, it did. 1
out, base is empty for Jim, who struck out then his next time with Albert at third to end the second. Good pitch on the inside corner. Speaking of Sun Trip home runs, Sun Trip Automotive family donates $100 for every home run hit. Cards are up to 64 thanks to their 2 tonight. The Win One for the Kids charity fund and Habitat for Humanity St. Louis. With 1 out, the 0-1 pitch. Edmonds takes low. You can imagine the nerves when you're about to go hit at the big league level, and nobody looks more nervous waiting on deck than Reggie Sanders. In fact, if they make a statue of Reggie Sanders someday, oh, he just got up. It'll be him down on one knee, his hand on the knob of the bat, just hanging out. With 1 out, here comes a 1-2. 2-2. In fact, Reggie Sanders, look at that, he's not even moving. Huh?
So he's rather studied Edmonds' backside than the pitcher.
And Edmonds isn't moving. Nobody's moving. 2-2 pitch. That would be the statue. If I were Harry Weber, the artist that the Cardinals commissioned to make the busts and the action statues outside Busch Stadium, that's the pose I would use for Reggie.
I own an original Harry Weber statue.
As do I.
Mine is not like yours.
Mine is of my father.
I know. Mine is a rabbit.
Of a rabbit?
Yes.
The 2-2. Edmonds strikes out for the second time in a row. 2 out.
He was kind enough to donate it to my golf tournament, so I made sure I bought it because I have great respect for the man.
What a brilliant artist. The guy that these Cardinal owners knew from childhood, and he has really helped improve the look outside Busch Stadium with those great statues, and they will make their way over to the new stadium. Be in some spot, I'm sure, yet to be determined, or maybe have thought far enough ahead to figure out where they will be stationed as you make your way into the new Busch Stadium. 2 out, nobody on. Sanders off the end of the bat, reaching for it. Strike one.
I think he told me they're sunk about 6 foot into the ground.
Just to make sure.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to take one with them after a Cardinal game.
I sure would like to.
Oh yeah. One of Red, there's one of Gibson, there's one of Brock.
Ozzie.
Slaughter, Ozzie. He's been busy. Into left field for Manny Ramirez. The Cardinals go in order for the second time tonight. We go into the 6th. Jeff Suppan back to the hill. Cardinals lead it 7-2. If we look sweaty and shiny to you, don't adjust your sets. It's about 97 up here in the booth.
But tomorrow we'll be wearing fatigues.
We are going to be honoring the troops over in Iraq, and tonight we're looking at a lot of the same what we looked last night. I mean, you got good starting pitching, we've seen good defense, and tonight is just the top of the order doing their thing. Right?
You just can't hold down 2, 3, and 4 too long, and you wonder how long can you hold down Edgar Renteria.
So far 0 for 6 in this series.
What, 3 double plays?
That's right. And that's inside, ball 1. Edgar bounced into one in the first, even on a hit and run with Johnny Damon running.
I was with Edgar last night, and the replays came on from FSN Midwest, and the Cardinal replays came on, and he just turned his back.
He did not have a good start to this series. He's up on the count here, 2-0. Now 3-0. We told you that this Red Sox lineup can strike fast and furious. And Francona has to hope that Renteria gets on for Ortiz, Ramirez, and Nixon. Cardinals up 7-2, 6th inning, and a 3-0 pitch is in for strike one.
No free passes.
Suppan has given one tonight. Got around it. Here is a 3-1 delivery. Edgar was taking his full count. 94 on our radar gun.
It wasn't the 3-1 type pitch you'd look for, as it was just a knee-high fastball with good velocity.
Three-two delivery. Renteria is on with a leadoff hit. And those who are intent on booing Renteria do so now. What's on tap is brought to you by Budweiser. Finale of this series is tomorrow night, and again, push everything up an hour. 5:30 with Cardinals tonight. The game starts at 6:10. Chris Carpenter against David Wells. Here's David Ortiz. Bullpen has had a nice rest. Last night, Morris going all 9. How far is Suppan going to go tonight? 5-run lead here in the 6th. Ortiz takes strike one.
So you talk about the bullpen for the Cardinals getting rest, and just one day. If you can get maybe once every week or maybe 10 days, get somebody to give you that day of rest by throwing a complete game, or 7, 8 innings, so you really at the back end of your bullpen only gets an inning of work, that'll just keep you all fresh.
That's down and in, 1-1 strike. Everybody has hit the refresh button, whether it's Tavares or King, who's trying to get his groove back. Izzy, Thompson, Reyes, they're itching to go down there. But they wouldn't mind another night off. That'd be a good sign. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Base hit. A rocket through the right side by Ortiz, and it's 2 on with nobody out, as the Red Sox have their best start to any inning yet.
Ball was hit so hard, there's no way Renteria could go first to third. Ball just running out over the plate. Belt tied down for a lefty. Good swing on it.
So much for the bullpen resting.
Well, you knew they were about ready to get up. Ray King, first out of the chute.
It's Ramirez now with Nixon on deck, and then Varitek, who's a switch hitter. Varitek is pretty balanced. Then another switch hitter in Miller, and another one with Bellhorn. So they have got some switch hitters down at the bottom of their lineup. 3 of their last 4. And here's Manny Ramirez with 2 on and nobody out. A lot of beat up batting helmets on this Boston Red Sox ragtag team.
I think they kind of pride themselves in somewhat of that. Would you say Millar is kind of their leader?
He is. Millar and Damon. Millar is the guy who likes to coin a phrase. Called the team a bunch of idiots last year, but in the nicest sense of the word.
Respectfully.
Yes. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's a guy who could jump the Red Sox right back into this game. Ramirez has hit 11 home runs, driven in 43. 1 for 4 in this series. Tonight he's walked and he's grounded out. Runners on at first and second. Lead runner is Renteria. The trail runner is Ortiz, who doesn't run well. And time is called again, this time by Yadier Molina, the Cardinal catcher. So this is the most tense moment that this series has provided for Tony La Russa. With 2 on and nobody out, and one of the best hitters in baseball at the plate. And what's going on? These two can't figure out what they want to throw.
Very important for a pitcher not to let that distract him and bother him as they're having trouble getting together. Pitcher should always throw what he wants to throw. That W or L goes behind the pitcher's name, doesn't go behind the catcher. And if a pitcher throws something he doesn't want to throw, it's not going to be a good pitch.
Ramirez, to his credit, does not look bothered by the fact that he had to call time 3 times in a row, and he grounds 1 to short. Can they turn it? Grudzielanek in the middle makes it look easy. 2-out runner at third. Taylor made double play. Eckstein, Grudzielanek to Pujols.
Boston Red Sox team has a lot of firepower, but they have a lot of guys that if you make a good pitch, you can get them to hit into a lot of double plays. Look at the time that Grudzielanek has on that one.
Ortiz lumbering down from first to second, and Ramirez getting down the line to first. That wasn't even close, and it wasn't that hard hit.
No. Once again, as a pitcher, your responsibility to keep that runner at third from scoring.
A battle between Suppan and Trot Nixon. He's driven in 34. He has been hot. Takes a pitch down and away. Cardinals in the bottom of this 6th will have the bottom of their lineup, starting with Walker.
0 for 2 on the night, 2 for 19 against Suppan, but 2 of those 4 hits have been home runs. Make a good pitch, keep it a 5-run deficit.
7-2 here in the 6th, and that's outside with Varitek on deck.
Suppan may not face Varitek, but the fact is he's .425 batting right-handed, so they have a right-hander warming up in the bullpen too.
Reyes joins King. Here's a 2-0. Popped up on the infield. It'll play for Pujols. The Red Sox put 2 on with nobody out. Had Ramirez up and get nothing. Bottom of the 6th inning rolls in. Suppan trying to roll to his 5th win of the year. Cards up by 5. American Chevrolet dealers bring you pitch by pitch.
Well, thought Nixon had a chance to close it in, and Suppan fell behind, but he made that big pitch as he jammed him after a couple pitches in. He jams him. Pujols catches it, and you know, Yadier felt a little better about that exchange right there. Had a little trouble getting together, but got Ramirez into a double play and Nixon into a pop-up.
Let me ask you, have you seen, and you've seen the Cardinals play a lot more in person than I have this year, have you seen Yadier Molina take a little more charge behind the plate and calling a game?
It's very interesting because you never see Mulder shake him off. You see a lot of the other guys shake him off as Walker hit by a pitch. We'll take that. But I see so many good things from a young catcher, and I think that's one of the reasons they made the decision. It's not an easy decision to take a great catcher like Matheny and say, okay, we can trust a young kid. But Molina really wants to learn. He was very receptive. Mike was gracious in giving him and imparting a lot of knowledge to him. But there's a lot of little things that he does that he doesn't do as a rookie. The pitch selection is probably an ongoing process, but he's got a veteran staff to lead him.
Walker was almost fooled by that move by Halama. And that last moment we showed you in the dugout, he just spent every second after helping to get Suppan through that inning, talking to Suppan about their exchange and about what they ended up doing to get Ramirez and Nixon. And then it was like, oh yeah, I got to go up and hit. And he had to get his helmet on and go stand in the on deck circle. Perfect bunt by Nunez. Sacrifice good 1-3. Down to second is Larry Walker for Molina.
Well, Joe, like you say, you know, anytime you get anything from whether it's Matheny or Molina, it's a plus, because Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan put more pressure and more responsibility on their catchers than any manager I've seen.
It's Molina now, and it's Taguchi on deck. So Suppan is finished. And Jeff had a solid effort tonight. He goes 6. He gives 2 runs on 6 hits. And he is pitching well enough that if the Cardinals were in the Red Sox position where their bullpen was tired and worn out, you could make a case that Suppan would go back out there and try to get through the 7th, because he just got through the heart of the lineup in the 6th and would deal with the bottom of the order for the Red Sox in the 7th. And he's really pitched well tonight. Got into and out of trouble in the top of this frame. Yadier Molina with an RBI chance, and Walker's back there bothering Halama, and Molina steps out after being granted time by Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire.
Base runner can do that, get under the skin of a pitcher. Anytime you can divert that attention away from the plate, you're doing the hitter a favor.
This time Walker doesn't do anything, and the pitch is up and away to Yadier. 1 ball, 1 strike, just to finish the line on Suppan. 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 1 home run. That was Varitek who took him out back in the 2nd. Halama hit Walker. The bunt by Nunez. And Molina with a count of 1-1. Hits it hard, but right at Renteria. Took a bad hop and got by him. That thing almost took his head off, or his hat at least, and it's 1st and 3rd, 1 out. It's a base hit for Molina. That thing was hit hard. It took a bounce and shot past the ear of Renteria.
And it looked like Edgar was in perfect position down there, and then a ball bounces up over his head and almost takes it off. And Walker had to retreat with the ball in front of him, but then when it gets by Edgar, he can only go 90 feet. And with with only 1 out, and Taguchi pinch hitting here for Suppan. Try and get that sacrifice fly.
Anything's in play here, even
Yeah.
a bunt.
Bunt, hit the ball the right side. We've been employed to squeeze quite a bit.
Ball one high. Here, Halama, one way to try to avoid a squeeze play with a guy at the plate who is a good bunter like Taguchi is to throw strikes, and he falls behind with ball one. Cardinals used it to perfection last night with Matt Morris at the plate. Taguchi looked like he was trying to go to right. Fouls it back, 1-1.
And you got Ortiz at first base, who is not noted as a, he's a DH, so he's not noted as a fine fielder on top of it. And Bellhorn pretty much up the middle, so anything to the right side should produce a run, barring the double play.
Go to first to see if Walker was going to leave too early at third. Terry Francona and the Red Sox just flat out don't bunt, and they've seen the Cardinals drop down a couple of good ones in this series to this point. One in this inning by Nunez. Squeeze play is on, and Taguchi fouls it. Had a pitch to handle, maybe a little up, and couldn't put it in play.
Well, he didn't have the bat in fair territory. He was back in his stance, and so when he made contact, see the angle, he made a contact up, and it's tough to get that ball that's elevated down, but no harm because he fouled it off. Runner goes back.
Yeah, the other danger is to take that pitch that's up and pop it up.
Pop it up. That's why.
Then you're finished.
Yeah.
Counts 1-2. And Taguchi strikes out. So that was not a good at bat. And it's up to Eckstein, who already has 2 hits tonight. Big strikeout there for Halama. Eckstein tripled off Halama last night. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the St. Louis Cardinals LLC and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals LLC. Eckstein tripled into left last night off Halama to score 2. He's 2 for 3 tonight with an RBI and a run scored. He bats with first and third, 2 out. Because of Eckstein's ability to handle the bat and his speed, and with a runner at third, Miller is way in at third base. Maybe half a step in front of the bag. Very close to the line. Just in case Eckstein wanted to drop one down and test the defense. But 2 out in the inning, first and third. On the inside corner, a ball and a strike.
The way this series has gone between Eckstein and Renteria, he's going to get an RBI here.
That's the way it's gone to this point. Eckstein has shined 5 out of 8. Renteria's 1 for 7 at the plate. And that's foul. Had a good swing, but a little too quick. 1-2.
He's had 4 RBIs in the series too. Eckstein.
Yes, he has. The current and former Cardinal shortstops.
There haven't been that many about the last 20 years, 25 years.
Not guys that have anchored the position. Just outside, Halama tried to make that perfect pitch. It's 2-2. After Ozzie, it was Royce Clayton for a short while. Then Renteria was brought in. And now Eckstein.
Throw to first. Yeah, it used to be my favorite pitch.
The flip.
Flip him. Flip the hitter, and now it's throw to first. Boy, this game's gotten boring.
2-2. What'll it be here?
Changeup. Didn't want the fastball, didn't want the slider. Changeup.
And Varitek blocks it with Molina taking about 3 steps down towards second. It's a full count. Now he'll go with a pitch.
T's telling his pitcher he'll play behind him. Real advantage for Molina. Give him a couple extra steps. Another changeup.
Eckstein grounds to third. Miller's play to first. The inning is over. The Cardinals had a chance to add to their lead. They lead 2. Have stranded only 3 all night. 7th inning now. Into the Cardinal bullpen we go. 7-2. Suppan is finished after 6 strong innings. And now Al Reyes, who's really had a good year for the Cardinals, will take over in the 7th with the Cardinals up by 5. The Red Sox have got to be thrilled that the Pirates came up with 4 runs in the 8th inning to beat Baltimore 5-0 as the Orioles blow a 5-0 lead at Pittsburgh. The Yankees are still being shut out by Milwaukee and Ben Sheets 2-0 in the 7th in Milwaukee. Cubs and Blue Jays tied 3-3 after 6.
Saw the numbers for Al Reyes, but he's allowed just 2 hits in his past 11 games.
We said it when we were in Houston, and Walt Jocketty was actually, and Varitek is hit by a pitch to start the inning. Walt Jocketty was actually sitting with us when we said it about the end of the year that Reyes had was so good it allowed the Cardinals a little more leeway in trading a guy like Kiko Calero in the Mark Mulder deal, and Reyes is not disappointed, although he's not happy with hitting Varitek to start this 7th inning. Here's Bill Miller.
Coincidence? Walker being hit.
Miller, line drive for a double play, and it's all going the Cardinals' way tonight.
Now he liked hitting Varitek.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
This one just caught his glove, Joe. I doubt he even saw this, but he did definitely react to it, and it ended up in his glove.
It's one thing, slow motion. How about this?
Charging a line drive, that's all he did. You know,
wow.
Say it, but it's true. Sometimes you see the ball and you can't react to it. Other times you don't see it and your glove does get up there in time. Either way,
it's a double play in the 3rd turn tonight by the Cardinals.
Had 2 last night.
The 1-0 to Bellhorn is on the outside corner. Matt Manti, a right-hander, getting loose for the Red Sox. He worked last night.
So the Cardinals have now turned 67 double plays, and they've hit into 49.
After a hit batsman, a quick top of the 7th, and Al Reyes turns in another scoreless and hitless frame. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Time to stretch. 7-2 Cardinals. Jim Williams, not the former manager of these Red Sox, is today's merchandise winner in the Hyundai long drive inning sweepstakes. Maybe it is. I don't know. The Cardinals hit a home run in the 7th. Jim, don't call me Jimmy Williams, qualifies for the Hyundai Tucson drawing in September. To register, visit a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer. As we move to the bottom of the 7th inning, we remind you where you can get a chance to meet David Eckstein, So Taguchi, reliever Randy Flores, and top prospect Anthony Reyes. They're all featured in the new Game Day magazine, along with a trip back to Busch Stadium as it existed in the 1960s. Take a look for yourself by signing up for a subscription to the only magazine devoted exclusively to Cardinals baseball. Give them a call, 982-7336. Here is Matt Manti. And there is Grzelcyk, strike one.
Still got a good arm, still, well, bionic, as he's had Tommy John surgery and also shoulder surgery. Still racks up a lot of strikeouts, but tough to hit, but sometimes all over the place.
2 good innings by Halama. 1 hit, a hit batsman, 2 strikeouts. There's the night for Mark. A 1-1 pitch is right under his chin. Two and 1.
Fast delivery, throws it up there and gets a little running action up and in, but that Manti sort of maximum effort.
Oh, now Grzelcyk's drilled, and on this could get ugly. We've had 3 batters hit. And La Russa ends up picking up the ball.
Both benches have been warned. Both managers have been warned.
And Tony La Russa's going to say, you're going to warn us. They've hit 2 of our guys. They just went up and in on Grzelcyk the pitch before, and now we are going to have the inside corner taken away. And Eric Cooper is going to say, this is what Major League Baseball wants me to do.
But this is a, to me, Joe, it makes no sense, because an umpire has been granted the authority that if he thinks someone was intentionally throwing at a batter, he can throw him out without a warning.
Let's take a look back and look at Varitek prior to the pitch. And right off the hip, or just above the belt, Grzelcyk is hit, and he's on at first with nobody out for Albert Pujols. You know what Pujols is thinking. He'd love to make the Red Sox pay with taking one out of here.
Well, I just saw Varitek, and if you're a pitcher and you get into a game where warnings have been issued, you still got to pitch your game. And I saw Varitek set up inside. You got to pitch the best way that you want to get the hitter out. Now you back away.
And Manti, we said last night, he's had a tough time figuring out where the ball's going anyway.
Right.
He just had half the plate taken away from him. He is going to be hard pressed to make good pitches. Albert swinging hard. 1 ball, 1 strike. Time called by Varitek. It's always difficult to determine intent of a pitch. But I know the Cardinals believe that there was something behind Grzelcyk. First of all, getting one up and in, which got his attention, and then on the next pitch getting drilled in the backside.
Sometimes when one is unintentional, the retaliation is on purpose.
This may get interesting as we go along here the rest of the night.
Oh, I tell you what, Armed Forces television might be in for real fun tomorrow.
A 1-1. What a swing by Pujols. Back to 47,000 plus at the ballpark tonight. After 50,000 plus, I think it was 5270 last night. Nonetheless, it's in the category of a sellout, and there are standing room only tickets having been sold.
But there's still like 500 seats available for tomorrow night's game.
Breaking ball stays inside too much. And
you know what?
Wasn't expecting that.
I think that fooled the umpire. I think he saw that coming inside and said, "Oh, what do I do now?" And then it broke.
So it's 2-2. Still 2-2. Now, even though both sides have been warned, Ray has just worked a scoreless 7th inning. If they don't mind him coming out after 1, you could send him out there and he could do whatever he wanted.
You're the base runner. Your objective is, let me get close enough to take out a middle infielder.
Pujols is doing everything he can to swing at pitches to try to wait for a mistake and drill it.
In the old days, that's how you would stop some of these situations where that middle infielder would kind of sit there and say, wait a minute, you're getting upset over certain things and you're going to get me or somebody else hurt. Don't let your personal revenge get in the way of things. That's just for effect, Manti. Keep on throwing over. Zlonic does lead the team in steals and had a couple last night.
On the outside corner, Pujols caught looking. That was a good pitch. 1 on, 1 out. Don't forget, tomorrow, watch our special Cardinals Red Sox telecast for our troops. American Forces Network will televise the game worldwide, and a satellite link from Iraq will show soldiers in the 1035th Missouri National Guard as they watch the game from a base in Iraq. Coverage begins an hour earlier tomorrow night, 5:30, right here on FSN Midwest. Here is Edmonds, 1 on, 1 out.
Has anybody figured out what time that will be in Iraq?
That's a good question.
Somewhere
sure we can
early morning.
Zlonic stealing second without a throw, and they love it. It's one of the loudest cheers for a stolen base since Lou Brock was a Cardinal.
Maybe Coleman in there someplace, but
they love that. That was a fun trip of 90 feet. They were waiting. These fans were waiting to see him take off. 2-0 now is the count on Edmonds with Reggie Sanders on deck.
something like about 4:30 in the morning in Italy when Renteria got his base hit to win 97.
You must have been there.
I was there. It's in Sardinia.
2-1 pitch. 98 on consecutive pitches from Manti, 2-2.
Amazing what they can do now after the Tommy John surgery. You know, if you successfully rehab it, you can throw as hard, if not harder, but shoulder surgery usually a different story.
Three balls, 2 strikes, runner at second. 1 out. Cardinals leading by 5 in the 7th. Breaking ball gets Edmonds looking, and he knew it. Back-to-back strikeouts. It's up to Reggie Sanders.
That breaking ball there is going to get a lot of people on 3-2. Throw high 90s. You can't look fastball. I mean, it's kind of hard not to look fastball, but when he throws that, it's tough to adjust to it. And if you're looking curveball, then no way you can catch up with the heat.
So Sanders now with Grzelcyk at second and 2 out. Number 9 spot will lead off. The Red Sox did not double switch when they brought Manti in, so they'll start with a pinch hitter against Reyes in the 8th. 99 as that one took off out of the hand of Manti. Ball 1.
I said that Grzelcyk leads in steals. I meant Sanders leads in steals. Grzelcyk is now 5 for 5.
That gets everybody's attention, but that's Manti just led one right up and in. Not knowing exactly where it's going to go.
Exactly. I mean, it was not intentional.
Got the fans' attention.
Yeah.
3-0 with Walker on deck. And no lefty in the bullpen for Boston. They're going to cut Reggie loose on 3-0, leading by 5. Why not?
Yep.
Ball 4.
Yeah, he just has to be disciplined.
Here's Walker. A history between these two, and the numbers favoring Larry Walker. 4 out of 5. We mentioned that Walker obviously was with Colorado for a while, and Manti was last with Arizona out in the National League West. Prior to that, Manti was with the Marlins. 2 on, 2 out, strike 1. Blistering fastball from Matt Manti.
On the pitches thrown.
Now Walker's hit by a pitch, and the umpire should throw him out.
See, this is ridiculous. This is how you get yourself in trouble, by issuing warnings.
Now the crew chief.
Yeah, well, he's got to do it.
Larry Young's going to say, hey, you got to throw him out. The home plate umpire didn't do it. Larry Young, the third base umpire, did it.
But that is ridiculous that Eric Cooper couldn't take charge. Whether it's meant to or not, you issue your warnings. And you are gone too.
Francona gets ejected as well.
But, you know, umpire, they changed the rule. At one time, it was that if warnings were issued, it didn't matter if it was intentional or not. Any ball, a breaking ball, anything like that, the manager pitcher rejected. Then they modified it to where, and you see where the catcher's set up outside and he throws it right into the hip of Larry Walker.
Manti's trying to show the world after he let that pitch go that he didn't mean to, but they've already issued the warnings. If you're going to determine intent on the pitch to issue the warning, you can't then say, well, I'm reading his mind, and now he didn't mean to do it that time, so I'm not going to throw him out. Larry Young, the third base umpire, at least stepped up and said, all right, you're out of the game. The warning's been issued. You just drilled another guy. Goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks bad. But Joe, and an umpire has the right, if he thinks that you're throwing at a guy for the first pitch of the game, if he thinks you're deliberately throwing, he can eject you right then.
So 2 hit batsmen in this inning, 1 last inning. Walker was hit to load the bases, and Alan Embry, the left-hander's coming in, and Tony La Russa's paying attention too, and he's going to come out and talk to the crew chief Larry Young. We'll take a break as Embry will come in with a bases loaded, 2 out. Cardinal fans receive in-game alert, scores, breaking news, and more instantly on your mobile phone. Simply text the word Cardinals to 65246, or that's MLB Go. From your mobile phone, a $3.99 per month charge will appear on your phone bill as long as you remain subscribed. The Cardinals fans on the go, text Cardinals to 65246. That's MLB Go. Bases are loaded here. Alan Embry has to come in cold out of the bullpen. He threw a few pitches down in the bullpen, and now he warms up. 2 out, and Abraham Nunez will be the hitter. Matt Manti has been ejected after 2/3 of an inning, no hits. Struck out 2, walked 1, and hit 2. Our Bank of America game recap brought to you by Bank of America, the official bank of baseball. Edgar Renteria in the first, hits into another double play. Jim Edmonds in the first hit a 2-run shot. David Eckstein made a sparkling play up the middle, and the Cardinals went to work with 4 runs in the second, 1 in the third on this home run that just stayed fair by Reggie Sanders. And then the double play on a line drive back to Reyes. That happened at the top of this 7th. Here are the numbers. 5 double plays turned by the Cardinals in this series.
Joe, just for thought, Boston has hit 38 runners this year. The opposition has hit them 24 times, and the Cardinals have hit 20 batters this year.
So 38 to 20.
38 to 20. Just in case
you're keeping score that way.
You're keeping score. That's right.
Abraham Nunez is hitting .264, 0 for 2 tonight. Now facing the lefty Embry, and he grounds it up the middle. Base hit, and the Cardinals have made the Red Sox pay. 2 more runs, throw to third too late, and the Cardinals open it up. They lead it 9 to 2. And Grudzielanek, on his way back to the dugout, just pointed at Abraham Nunez and said, way to go, Abe.
That's right.
You just made him pay.
That's how you make him pay. And you made the pitcher pay, because that's 2 more earned runs tacked on to Manti. Just a bouncer right up the middle, and this guy's had a little quicker step all the way around as he drives in 2, giving him 16 on the season. Crowd loves it, and once again Walker shows that good base running, and he goes from first to third.
First and third, 2 out, and Molina hits it off the end of the bat into right. Nixon squeezes it. The Cardinals open it up, have their biggest lead of the night. 7 runs. It's 9 to 2 as we go to the 8th. Grudzielanek hit to start the inning, comes around to score. Cardinals having fun again this evening. Cardinal Baseball is a production of Bud Sports and is an exclusive presentation of FSN Midwest.
Before this inning started, the home plate umpire talked to Al Reyes, and Ray King immediately was warming up.
And the first pitch is a strike over the inside corner to Kevin Youkilis, who took over in the double switch.
Now you think the first pitch may be in your side, so then you get a little reassurance, and it's the second or third.
Yeah, just in case Youkilis was on his toes.
Yeah, but sometimes it's
It's knowing that it's coming, but it may not happen today.
Breaking ball's got him flinching.
Right.
Euclid has been watching. He knows, and you wonder.
He goes, "Why me though?"
You wonder if it's going to happen. Ray King is getting loose.
He came in as part of the double switch, but
you don't want to go off on a total tangent, make more of it than it is, but you wonder if the Cardinals in this lopsided game now are going to wait for somebody else to hit. That's on the inside corner after the Cardinals got Walker and Grudzielanek hit.
Or you just wait to another time. There's your starters tomorrow. Puts them in a little bit of an awkward situation, but part of the game.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
And you still have to go out and pitch your game.
Euclid pops it up right side and out of play. On the other hand, Al, you read the stories like I do, and you played, and I'm sure you experienced it. You so often read stories about guys that get upset because they, quote unquote, weren't protected by their own pitcher. Meaning Grudzielanek was drilled or Walker was drilled, so now as a show of respect for your own teammate, your guys got to go out and hit somebody.
And it has changed. Those unwritten rules have changed.
And Euclid is hit on the hand or the wrist. Reyes is ejected. I mean, I know that Euclid was hit by the pitch. That certainly wasn't in the category of obvious, as that ball was off the inside part of the plate. Euclid just walked right into it, and this crowd loves Reyes more than they ever have. I'm anxious to see a look at that from center field to see just how far inside that ball was.
Really, Molina not set inside, but the ball kind of running there, and got him on the right hand, didn't it?
Yeah, the right hand or the right
or
wrist.
Not the front hand. So he kind of had to walk into it.
91-mile-an-hour fastball. And Dave Duncan is now walking out to the mound, and he's yelling something at the crew chief, Larry Young. Now Ray King will come in. And we'll take a break. Hopefully this stuff is over. We can get back to playing baseball. Cardinals lead 9-2. Ray King takes over now. King is the 3rd Cardinal pitcher of the night. Reyes goes an inning plus. Reyes hit 2 batters. Forget Veritek was hit to start the 7th, but that was after Walker was hit in the bottom of the 6th. And then in the bottom of the 7th, Manti hit 2. Grudzielanek and Walker. So the hit by pitch category is being led by the Red Sox 3-2. The game is being led by the Cardinals 9-2. King says he's ready to go. He had as long as he needed to get loose. The batter will be Johnny Damon. Chris Myers returns to FSN. The most intriguing and controversial names in sports. Talk with Chris in a series of half-hour specials. CMI, the Chris Myers interview, premieres with former slugger turned author Jose Canseco on Sunday at 4, only on FSN.
His pace is kind of slowed down for some reason.
Yeah, it was flying. We were on pace for another 2.5-hour game. Here's Damon, 1 for 3. Play behind the runner Euclid. And Damon grounds it into the seats for strike 1.
In some ways, I think Johnny's a little relieved.
I agree. Playing with a bad right shoulder. Sat out last night. Over the top of that good pitch from Ray King. It's 0-2.
A lot of times it's a swing like that where you do not make contact that hurts. Sprained right rotator cuff. Slider.
And Damon, 3 pitches, goodbye, 1 out.
Ray King's getting a lot closer, and this is the pitch that'll determine how much better he's throwing. He was very inconsistent with that slider, and that was a good one there to get Johnny Damon.
Here is Renteria, who's 1 for 3, 1 out of 7 in the series, hitting .273 for the year. Might be another double play. Nunez, Grudzielanek, they turn another on Renteria. 2 last night, 2 tonight. And the Cardinals have turned 4 double plays this evening. They hit a guy and still face only 3. All from me yesterday, I saw Pontiac G6 on hole number 10. Good looking car.
You didn't take it home though, huh?
Well, I didn't even make the green. Here's Scott Seabold leading off and batting for Ray King. And Seabold pops it straight up on the infield. Edgar Renteria, 1 out.
Oh, Edgar's probably going, oh, why me? look at he sits there and goes, that was up there.
So Seabold is a quick out in the 8th. And here comes David Eckstein with Grudzielanek to follow against Alan Embry, the left-hander. 4th pitch of the night after Clement lasted only 4. Alama 2. Manti was ejected after 2/3 of an inning, and now Embry. And those 2 runs were knocked in by Nunez against Embry. Embry belonged to Manti. With 1 out, Eckstein takes a fastball for a strike, and Embry's throwing hard, 97. Eckstein 2 for 4 tonight. He's hitting .317. And that one dipped down and away. Ball 1.
In case you're wondering, I heard the report that Mr. Dan Farrell was supporting a little bruise and some stitches from the baseball.
Stitches?
Well, I mean.
Oh, okay. From the actual baseball.
Yeah, from the actual baseball.
Dan, who attempted to make one of the best defensive plays of his life down the 3rd base line or 1st base line last night. In the seats, Cardinal Vice President.
Got an assist, didn't he?
He did get an assist. Here comes a 2-1 pitch. That will not get him into the baseball register, however. Eckstein grounds it foul, and it's 2-2. Gabe White, the left-hander, will take over in the 9th inning. He will work to Ortiz, Ramirez, and Nixon. What a night. Another fun night at the ballpark for this big crowd. Everybody wearing red, no matter who they're rooting for. There's a 2-2. Eckstein 5 hits and 9 at bats in this series. Eckstein another foul. Spreading love and foul balls and souvenirs around the ballpark. David Eckstein.
David, 13 of his 19 home runs have come versus left-handed pitching.
Look at a Red Sox fan learning about Mark Mulder in the Cardinals Game Day magazine. 982-7336. He must have called. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Another foul. And the guy that was just smiling gets to make a play. And a friend.
Got a write-in vote on the All-Star ballot.
So another 2-2 pitch coming from Embry to Eckstein. 1 out in the 8th. The Yankees are being shut out 2-0 in the 9th inning at Milwaukee.
It's Ben Sheets, isn't it?
It's Ben Sheets. Game's not over yet according to the manually operated scoreboard. And the souvenir for that little girl.
Boy,
who
she's
stayed
happy.
late. To the right side. Bellhorn to his left. Good range. Good play. 2 out. 2-1 is the final in Milwaukee, so the Yankees lose again. I have said since the beginning that there's no way that Torrey's going to lose his job, and Steinbrenner knows that he's got a good man in Joe Torre, and I'm starting to wonder. And it has nothing to do in my mind with Torre. He's got a $200 million payroll and a team that right now just looks old.
They are.
With 2 out, Gerdzelanek off the end of the bat into center field. Fooled Damon a little, but he's back to get it, and we go to the 9th. Gabe White will take over. 9th inning. Cardinals on their way to taking the first 2 of this 3-game series, up 9-2. Gabe White is the new Cardinal pitcher. He takes over for King, who relieved Reyes, who relieved Suppan, and White sports these numbers: an ERA of 2.35, was pitching very well at AAA Memphis. And here he is in a game. He was part of the Yankees Red Sox rivalry a couple of years ago when he was pitching for the Yankees.
6th appearance, and seemed like he did pitch Sunday, but a long duration in between starts there and or appearances. His numbers are good except for opponent's batting average, which is .344.
He will have his hands full here in the 9th inning. The Red Sox aren't going to roll over. They're down by 7, and it'll be Ortiz, Ramirez, and Nixon if anybody gets on Veritek. So this is an opportunity. Kevin Millar is in the on-deck circle. Looks like he'll bat for Manny Ramirez, which is interesting. But time called as baseball is loose out in left field. This is a chance, Al, for Tony La Russa to see Gabe White against about as good a competition as you can find in a lineup in a spot where Cardinals lead it by 7. And Ortiz greets him with a bullet into right. Brent Stover is hanging out at Busch Stadium these days, and he gives us a preview of what's coming up on the Midwest Sports Report.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Coming up after the game on the Busch Light Midwest Sports Report, Andy Bennis joins me for your phone calls at 1-888-RING-FOX. Tony La Russa's live postgame comments in the night in Major League Baseball. That and more after the game. Joe and Al, back to you.
All right, Brent, thanks. It's good to have you with us. And with 1 on and nobody out, here is Kevin Millar getting his first at bat of this series. And then it'll be Jay Payton.
Now, the one thing about Ramirez, he was batting .130 against left-handed pitching. That's the only thing I could think of.
A 1-0 pitch popped up and playable and easy for Walker. Has forever to get there. 1 on, 1 out. So Ramirez was sitting and watching, and Millar flies to right. And here is Jay Payton. Cardinals have already turned 4 double plays tonight. A couple last night. And it's Payton with 1 on, 1 out.
Why not get some of the bench guys a little time to each have an at bat? Spare your everyday players. Like the truck wants another double play.
Strike 1 from White.
Gabe, 33 years of age. You'd think he's older than that. Like he's been around for so long.
1 ball, 1 strike. Payton is hitting .228 in his first year with the Red Sox. Last year with San Diego, he takes a strike, and it's 1-2. I think it was Larry Walker Talked about playing behind Gabe White when the two were in Colorado. He said it's fun to play behind Gabe because he comes right after hitters. He works fast and he just tries to make a good pitch, doesn't mess around between pitches, and throws strikes. Base hit through the left side. Payton got it off the end of the bat. 2 on, 1 out, 2 hits in the inning. And Tavares is getting loose with Varitek walking in. Our play of the game is brought to you by Bud Light. We go back to a big play. Who knew then what this would lead to? Yadier Molina getting around the tag of Varitek, being called safe, and that was back in the second on a hit by Eckstein. The Cardinals got 3 more runs in that inning. Got a run in the third, 2 more in the seventh, and lead 9-2 here in the ninth.
Toronto trying to close out the Cubs. They have a 6-4 lead in the bottom of the ninth.
Ball 1 low from White to Varitek. Jason has homered tonight, singled, and been hit by a pitch. He was hit in the 7th after Walker was hit in the 6th. Walker was actually hit in his last 2 plate appearances. Changeup is down and in, 2-0. Tavares getting loose. Ramon Vasquez, a backup middle infielder, is on deck. The pitcher's spot is due up after Varitek. That is going to get out of play. 2-1. Got a catcher who plays every day, hitting .314. Switch hitter with power from both sides of the plate. These guys are hard to find.
That reminds you of Ted Simmons.
He does. He's tough. He's hit 10 home runs on the year coming in. He has 1 tonight. That came left-handed off Suppan, who stands to be the winner and really pitched well in his 6 innings tonight. 2-1 pitch is way high. 3-1.
Varitek batting from the right side, 17 for 40 with 4 of his home runs and 9 RBIs and a .425 average.
Two on, 1 out. 3-1 pitch, full count. Varitek is the antithesis of Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz with the way he wears his pants. He is truly one of the Boston Red Sox.
In more ways than one.
And there's Ortiz. Wanting a little break in the bottom of his pants. 3-2 pitch. Varitek fouls it back here. Defensively, they are dead straight away in the outfield. The infielders looking for a game-ending double play.
Deep in the corners.
Three-two pitch again, and Varitek lines it into left for a base hit. You just said it, deep in the corners, and because they were playing deep, that fell in front of Sanders, and the bases are loaded. Let's see if Tavares is coming in or if they'll give White one more hitter. Ramon Vasquez, left-handed hitting shortstop, second baseman, is up. Watch Ortiz go from second to third.
Takes too long.
That was not slow motion.
No.
Ramon Vasquez with the bases loaded, facing Gabe White.
Only have their backup catcher left.
Strike one. Kelly Shopik is the only guy left on the bench for the Red Sox. They've used Millar, Allrood, Youkilis, Vasquez, and Payton. Vasquez into shallow right center field. Edmonds a long run, a diving catch, and Ortiz stays at third. Have the Cardinals flashed some leather at the Red Sox the last 2 nights?
That's a pretty good effort in a 9-2 game. Jimmy closes the gap. He was the only one that was playing a little more shallower than the corners, and he can do so. And he takes a extra base hit away from Vasquez, and now we're going to make a pitching change. 7-run lead.
2 out and a pitching change. Jim Edmonds is the only guy in the history of baseball to use 2 hands on a diving catch. How does he do that? A diving catch into right center field, and he got his left hand up to make sure he held on. Tavares is coming into the game. White is out. 9-2 in the 9th. Not only is Julian Tavares brought in with the bases loaded 2 out in a 9-2 game, but Jason Isringhausen is getting loose in the Cardinal bullpen.
Could evolve into a save situation, Joe, so must be prepared.
Batter will be Bellhorn, the number 8 man. Tavares says he's ready to go. Before every guy comes in to pitch, Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire, walks out and has to have a conversation with every pitcher that comes into the game to remind them that the benches have been warned. And
he doesn't want to do that, but he has to. There is an umpiring supervisor here in attendance. I saw Jim McKeon before the game, and so they'll have plenty to report.
Bases loaded, 2 down. The crowd, most of them to their feet, hoping this is the last batter of the night. Ball 1 to Mark Bellhorn. In the regular season, the career against Tavares for Bellhorn. Here comes a 1-0 pitch to Bellhorn, hitting .246. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bellhorn would have to pop one to create a save situation for Isringhausen.
Still wouldn't do it. One short.
A 1-1. 2-1.
Yeah, I guess it would. The on deck hitter. Let's just get him out.
Forget all about Isringhausen and any of the other stuff, and see what Bellhorn and Tavares can do. Tavares, the 5th pitcher of the night for the Cardinals. 2-1. Good pitch. 2-2. Now Molina wants to go talk. And Eric Cooper can't wait to get back out there and talk.
Come on, guys. Eric Cooper saying, come on, guys, this is our 58th game.
So the Cardinal fans have to wait a couple more moments.
It wouldn't be a safe situation because the 3-run is effective. You have to pitch a full inning.
Here comes the 2-2. Bases loaded, 2 out. Forget the save situation, Al. Now you can keep thinking about it for another minute. 2-2.
Well, hopefully less than 20 seconds.
All right. 9-2 in the ninth. Red Sox down to their final strike. Got him looking. The end of the night, and the Cardinals win it 9-2. And we could put our cameras on just about any Cardinal out on the field who was involved in this game, and they did something to help the Cardinals win this one by 7. After winning last night by 6, what'll it be tomorrow night when we're on the air? Our special telecast for the troops, and we started at 5:30 with Cardinals tonight. The game is at 6:10. 9-2 the final. Right now, the Midwest Sports Report is coming up. Brent Stover is around the ring, another part of this park to give it to you.